Hello survivors and welcome back to Dr. Alejandro's lab. I'm here to talk to you very quickly. So today's going to be a super short video about some things that have to deal with weapons. A little bit more. So last time I did a tutorial on weapon damage in the game. This time I just want to show you guys a couple of the different damage modifiers that happen with the guns. I mentioned in that last video that guns typically use the ammo damage value and then plus or minus some certain amount. So I just want to show that off and then introduce you guys to another part of my 7 Days to Die datasheet. The first one, something that people might not have realized before, is when you look at the Magnum and the Desert Vulture is technically the highest tier of the pistols and the Magnums. However, compared to the Magnum, the Desert Vulture actually has lower damage. So the 44 Magnum has straight bullet damage, which the Magnum ammo is base damage 70. The Desert Vulture actually has bullet damage minus 2. So it starts at a base of 68. So with all that, the Desert Vulture actually does slightly lower damage. The big thing is its rounds per minute is much higher than the Magnum, and it has a higher magazine size. Whereas the Desert Vulture will be anywhere from, I think, will typically be 8 to 9 magazine size, while the Magnum is always 6 magazine size. So you're losing a little bit of damage, tiny bit of damage per shot, but you're getting more magazine size and more rounds per minute. So it'll take you a few more rounds to kill something, but, you know, you're getting faster. Another one that I wanted to mention, I gave some of the numbers before, but I mentioned how the hunting rifle had bullet damage plus 12, and the marksman rifle had bullet damage plus 9. The sniper rifle is kind of the king. It has both high magazine size and rate of fire, but it also has bullet damage plus 14. So you're getting the largest magazine size out of all of them, but you're also getting the highest damage, since you have the hunting rifle, which is pure damage, the marksman rifle, less damage but more magazine, and the sniper, which is putting everything together. With the AKs, you have bullet damage minus 12. With the TAC, you have bullet damage minus 9. And with the M60, you have bullet damage minus 6. So, all in all, there's only a 6-point damage swing between the average or top end of the AKs and the top end of the M60s. So, while it is a big change, there's actually not as huge of a damage difference between them as one might expect from going from Tier 1 to Tier 3. The last one we have here, actually, the shotguns. Mainly because the big difference you get from the shotguns is really only magazine size and then rounds per minute. Because all of the shotguns just do shotgun damage plus 0. There's actually no difference in damage per pellet numbers between the shotguns besides the normal variance you might get when you have a weapon. So the damage you have on a double barrel shotgun will be the same damage on an auto shotgun. The difference is this huge magazine size, which you fire a ton of times, and compared to the pump shotgun, you have a much higher rounds per minute. The double barrel has kind of the highest, but that's a little different. It can do a quick 2-shot burst fire, then has to reload. So that's really the main difference there. Now, I did also update my 7 Days to Die datasheet. I'm just going to show it off to you quickly right now. Alright, so I gave out this 7 Days to Die datasheet previously in my armor video. Right now, I'm giving out the addition to it, which will have information about all the different weapons. So on the first sheet that's going to be added onto that data sheet is information on all the weapons. So we'll have has every weapon in the game, and for the different tiers, their low, middle, their average values, and their high end. So you'll be able to see exactly where you are. So if you have a machete with 22 damage, that's a tier 2, then you would know it's slightly above average. The highest you can get to is 24. One note here is that the game does still use decimals when it comes to weapons. However, unlike with armor, where you have 5 pieces of armor, and those decimals can actually add up with each other of all of them, with weapons, it doesn't really matter all that much, just because the way that the damage formulas work, for the most part, you're not really going to be getting enough of a boost that's going to change things by too much. The most that might change is your effective damage being 1 point higher than what this says, although the weapon will still say this number, but your overall output damage might end up being 1 point higher. But you're never going to get more than that, because it's only one weapon. The second sheet on here does the same thing for all of the ranged weapons in the game. So I separated them out because their formulas work slightly differently. But all of these things will be available to all of you. It's going to be attached in the description below for this video. Also, this same one is in my previous video on armor. It's all going to be part of the exact same data sheet. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it's useful for all of you to be able to take a look and see exactly where you are when you get a piece of equipment. Say, oh, this is a really good piece of equipment, or oh, this is really, really bad for its tier. So anyway, thank you guys for coming out and hanging out with me. My next video is actually going to be relatively interesting on some aspects that have to do with zombies. So I've done a lot of things that have to do with the players. Now I'm going to give you guys a couple tutorials that deal with zombie damage and how some of those function, because there are some weird ones in there. But this is Dr. Alejandro signing out. I hope to see you again in one of my future videos, and thank you very much.